Hey everybody, it's Emily the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today with the Urban Worm Bag for an update. I'm actually going to combine my Urban Worm Bag updates today. Try to start consolidating some of my updates. But this is version 2, so the newer version. And I've got part of my new lighting set up, but not all of it, so I am going to use this to help us to see. And I wanted to take a look in here, see how these guys were getting along. Feels a little dry in here, but I'm not seeing many worms. The castings, as you can see, look beautiful. I don't know where the worms are. Man, I don't know where they went. There's not very many through here. And the worms I'm seeing are small, like, I don't know if they're just juveniles. But I haven't poked in here for well over a week with being away. So I'm hoping there wasn't anything that bothered these guys. Here's some worms, but still not very many. Still have some sprouts going in here. Oh my goodness, my worms, where did they go? Here's something over here. Is this a sweet potato? They still haven't really gotten into yet. Oh, yes, they have. Check that out. They had actually are tunneling their way into it. Oh, and this is not what I thought. This is actually an orange. And that's why we have some grain beetles. They tend to like the citrus, but little worm ball there. Those guys look good. I just don't know where the rest of them are. I'm wondering if they just are really hungry, so they've kind of delved deeper and are a little bit more spread out. But I'm going to cover, actually I'm not going to cover this orange up just yet. Here's sweet potato. Maybe they're down by this sweet potato. Maybe a little bit, but definitely need a feeding. This was inside the sweet potato here. Again, these are kind of smaller worms, so I'm thinking they need some healthy feedings going on in here, and it's a little dry as well. So I'm going to cover up what we have. And before I do anything, I'm going to give a healthy sprinkling of my dry mix. Try to knock down the number of the beetles that we have. Again, I've said it before, they're not harmful, but just a little unpleasant to look at. I have a big container of food here, and I have something that I've had in my freezer for quite some time. It was frozen, but it is a slow to break down food. This is a head of cabbage that went bad, and I think this will be a massive hit. It's very heavy, it's very water dense, so I think that will be good because it will help kind of moisten it up in here since it's a little dry. And I think we're going to have an incredible worm ball from that. And I'm also going to drop in maybe just a few banana pieces because that will also entice them into the area. I'm going to avoid putting any more citrus into this bin right now since we're having a few beetles. But that's all I'm going to give right now. I'm going to give more dry mix here. Never be too generous with that, in my opinion. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of the water from this lovely concoction of food I have here. That'll also help. The fact that this zips shut will also help a lot because once it closes up and this starts to break down, the condensation will spread out, and I think it'll be just fine. So, just using some shredded newspaper today, and I'm just going to kind of mound it a bit here in the middle, put a little bit more perhaps. That way the cabbage won't stink too much, but also again, the fact that it zips shut, I don't think it'll be a big problem. And that's going to be it for this bin. Now we're going to hop over to the version 1 urban worm bag, and we'll take a peek in there, and then we'll call it a day. Alright guys, so here I am with the version 1. My plan was to get everything from here transferred to one of the version 2s so I can use this for storage castings. I did not get around to it, so that will have to wait another week. So, let's see how these guys are getting along. Some condensation, but nothing terrible. Got some climbers. So let me peel this back and we'll take a look. Okay, so compost as always in here is looking fantastic. Everything is nice and dark, which is great. Feels a little bit moist in here. Not terrible. It's also a little bit cold. This room gets colder than a lot of the rest of the house for some reason. But, I mean, not cold like it's bothering them cold, but just cold in comparison to what I'm used to in here. Now, I'm not seeing anything in here food-wise. Just beautiful, beautiful dark rich castings. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Here's a piece of citrus, it looks like. Worms look great there. What else in here? Oh, there's more citrus. There's a beetle in there too, which is fine. They tend to like the citrus. Alright, so more citrus. Tends to take longer time to break down, but the worms still seem to do well with it. Only downside is the beetles seem to like it too, but that's fine. All in all, everything in here is looking good. Trying to see if I'm missing anything food-wise, but it doesn't really look like it. But these castings, man, they're beautiful. Okay, so gonna leave all this open in the middle for them to finish working through. There's some sweet potato skins they have left to go through. And I think we will feed over on this right-hand side. I haven't fed on the right-hand side in a while that I recall. So I'm just going to kind of mound some of the castings up here so I can bury everything up real well. And let's see what I have. Avocado. Looks like, ooh, lovely. Nice and slimy. Coffee grounds, a little bit more citrus, but nothing crazy. Some lettuce, tea bags, all that good stuff. Strawberries. I think the worms will like this. Let's see. Okay, I think that should probably be pretty good. Give them another handful or two, just for good measure. And I'm gonna get some of my dry mix if I can reach it here. Okay. You guys know the drill here. This is neem cake, kelp meal, diatomaceous earth, and oyster shell. Provide some trace minerals, some grit for the gizzard, since the worms need that to break down their food. And also, neem cake is really good for bug control. It can actually sterilize some of the bothersome pests that get into your bin. So that's always a good thing. So I'm just gonna level this out a little bit. And it, like I said, it feels a hair moist in here, and that is a relatively wet feeding. So I'm just gonna top this bin off with a little bit of, ooh, that's a lot, dried newspaper. Spread this out here. That will absorb some of the moisture, create a little extra barrier as well. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments below. Like this video and subscribe if you'd like some more content from me, and I'll be back with you guys real soon for an update.